Hi, I'm Grace. I'm from a small town in Illinois, and I am doing a challenge this year. And I wanted to tell you guys about my 2026 challenge. So, a little backstory. My dad has a saying. He says, mired in the mundane. And he has said that my whole life. And it doesn't sound super positive, right? Mired, kind of stuck, mundane, definitely doesn't have the best connotation. So it doesn't sound like it's such a positive saying, but the meaning really is. It's the idea that you should just really try to enjoy the everyday things in life, the things that maybe we overlook or we take for granted or we just don't appreciate or pay attention to. And it's things that we do every day, right? These are the things in our daily life, make up the bulk of our life. And so, whether you call it enjoyment or contentment or peacefulness, just trying to go through life appreciating or being okay with all the mundane little things in life. I liked this saying as a kid, but then once I got my chronic illness and my life became especially mundane, right? A little boring. I'm not out doing the most exciting, adventurous things. The idea of being mired in the mundane really became beneficial for me and became a guiding principle of my life. So that has already been in my mind. Then last year, I happened upon a Reddit about reasons to live for, right? And some of it was depressing, right? Some of it was a topic like that. You can understand that there would be some dark stuff, but some of it was really helpful. And a lot of it was just amusing or interesting, right? They were things that I was not expecting to see there. So one person put mozzarella sticks. I have been so amused by this for months since I saw this. I have not had a mozzarella stick in probably 15 years. I had them sometimes as a kid, and then now when we order food, I just never think to get mozzarella sticks. I think I liked them, but it's just never something I think to get. And when I saw someone put that, I thought, I have got to try a mozzarella stick. I want to try one with that context in mind, and I want to see, is this something to live for? Is this something that's making life better? Is this that enjoyable, right? Would I put it on my list? I don't know. I'm not sure that I'm going to love a mozzarella stick that much, but somebody did. Somebody put it out there. And that just makes me, I don't know, entertained and interested and curious, right? And sometimes I think that's the best we could hope for, right? To just be curious about something, about how something's going to go or what's going to happen next or what tomorrow brings, right? Sometimes curiosity, I think, is a high enough bar to shoot for. So, also, Kung Fu Panda. Somebody put Kung Fu Panda on their list. I am a huge fan of shows and food. Both of those things would be on my list of things that make life better or are reasons to live for. I've never seen Kung Fu Panda. I want to watch Kung Fu Panda this year, and I want to see if I think that this is a movie that I enjoy that much. I'm a little skeptical. I don't know that I'm going to watch Kung Fu Panda and be like, yes, I'm glad I'm alive. Seems a little much, but who knows? Maybe. Someone put that on their list, and that makes me really curious. This year, when it was time for me to make my resolutions at the start of the year, I just had a really hard time with it. It was a lot harder for me this year than it normally is. I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. I couldn't decide which direction I was trying to go with it. And so I looked a lot online. I looked at different things that people put. And a lot of it was bucket list type things, right? And I think bucket lists are great. But if you have a chronic illness or you have some other kind of thing that maybe is a little more limiting and where a lot of the things that you would want to put on the bucket list, you just aren't very feasible for you to do right now, then they can kind of be depressing. They serve the opposite purpose. And I just don't love the bucket lists for me, right? I couldn't think of things that I wanted to do that I thought, okay, yeah, I really want to do this, and thought that it would be realistic that I'd be able to, right? Like my sister last year went skydiving, and that's amazing. I'm so happy for her, and goodness, that is brave. I could never do that. But I also just could not do that. So that would not be something I could do, or travel, right? People put travel a lot on their lists. I'm not really able to travel right now. So bucket list type things can be very aspirational, but I think they can also be a little intimidating and overwhelming, depending on where you're at in your life. And the other thing is goals. I love goals. I'm a huge self-improvement person, but goals can also be overwhelming, right? I read all the tips for all the different kinds of things, right? Even the self-care tips or coping skills tips. I read them and I take notes and I write them down and I think, oh, I should do all of these. And then I get overwhelmed and so I do none of them, right? It's just too much. So I thought I'm going to go easy on myself this year. I'm not going to try to do all these lofty goals and things. I'm going to just try to see about the list. I'm going to think about the mozzarella sticks. So I decided for my resolution to do a challenge where I look at other people's lists for things like reasons to live, things that make life worth living, happiness lists, life lists, gratitude lists, joy lists, the little things in life lists. There's a bunch of different ways that people name it, but I'm going to look at those lists and I'm going to focus on a new thing each day, and I'm going to see if it's something that I would add to my list. Is this something that is making my life better? Is this something that I think is worth noticing or that matters and is helpful in my life? I'm excited to see what people think and just to come up with my own and see, yeah, I think this did help today, or yeah, I think this was a good thing today. So after I decided on the list came the hard part, the name for this challenge. If you haven't already been able to tell, I am someone who overthinks things, and I overthought these names a lot. I could not decide on a name for this challenge. So things that makes life worth living is probably the most honest, right? That's kind of how I came about these ideas. But that also felt really intense, just have to keep saying over and over again, and just for that to be the frame of mind that I keep thinking it through. So I don't think I want to do that. But then on the other end of the spectrum, right, we have like happiness, joy, gratitude lists. And honestly, that also felt intense and overwhelming. It can be hard to feel that if you are struggling, right, to kind of muster up that energy. And looking at things that are just supposed to be things that are making life a little better and try to think, okay, I'm going to feel happiness or joy, right? Did this bring me joy? That can be intense, right? And gratitude, that can be such a double-edged sword, right? If you look at this list and you think, oh, I should feel grateful for these things, and then you don't really feel it, it can be really disappointing, right? And a lot of pressure, I feel like, that, okay, I should be grateful. Well, if you're not really feeling that, then that's where you're at, right? So I didn't want to go too intense the other direction either. So I want to just focus on a name that feels honest, but is not overwhelming. That's my goal for the year, to help with this challenge, is to have something that can help me and can make me notice all these good things, but is not going to be overwhelming or something that I can fail at, something that I want to quit because it's too much going on, right? Just things to notice. So I searched for the terms for this, and there are so many. There are so many terms. So obviously there are a lot of other people that also wanted some ideas for this, right? That are looking for this kind of thing. And then I asked ChatGPT for some names. It also did some extreme ones. Reasons the day isn't empty. No, not gonna name it that. That's loaded, right? I do like the not nothing. I like that one. Hey, that's not nothing. But I don't know if I want that for my final one. I kind of narrowed it down to the ideas of things that matter, things that make life better, everyday things that are worth noticing, and my dad's thing, mired in the mundane. And I decided to use them all. Pretty much. So I'm going to name this challenge Mired in the Mundane, Exploring Everyday Things Worth Noticing. So each day will be day number 1, day number 105 of things that make life better. And some will be my own ideas, and some will be things I got off the list, and some I will embrace, and some I might leave behind. But the idea is just that I notice it and I try to think about something each day. I'm going to make a spreadsheet that would be on my list. I love spreadsheets. And I'm going to have a master list tab for the ideas that anyone posted. Because even if it's not something that helped me, maybe it's something that would make somebody else's life better, right? Somebody put it, so it's going on the list. And then I'm going to have a tab of the things that I tried and thought about and that I'm going to put on my list. So I'm excited to see how it happens with it, right? To be curious. Thanks.